Okay, now you need to unmute yours.
Episode 229.
So how do you like that?
We got glitches galore. I got a hurricane in my backyard right now. Hurricane, what is it? Hurricane
Ida?
Ida. Hurricane Larry's coming right behind it.
Which would be a little more closer to your heart.
Yeah. Would you say I'm going to lay a path of destruction all the way up the coast?
Yep.
$229.
So what's the latest, man? When was our last podcast? Do we even know?
When you guys came back from the testing at the pre-nats testing with Spencer Rivkin down at when you went to Mimi's.
Okay, so that was what, about a month ago?
July 28th.
Yeah, so it was about a month ago, I guess, right?
Yeah. A lot of stuff went on, including NFL training camp, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, we probably talked out the Roar E-Nationals that was at SS Raceway. We probably went through that, talked about our testing, went to Mimi's, checked that out, came back. We had events leading up to that we attended. I think
you went to every one of them, except.
Well, I did a monster truck race in Richmond, Virginia. RC monster truck race.
Yeah.
I went to North Carolina for a real monster truck event. I'm just making notes here. What to talk about? So
my buddy sent me a video of the he's at the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, and they have the monster truck. They give monster truck rides out there. Over sands and stuff like that.
That's what's the state?
Ocean City, New Jersey.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been to. They
have a sand mound built, and he just goes over it.
Yep. I think I've been there for the actual monster truck event they have there every year. Cool location.
Right. Yeah, Wildwood.
Yeah, Wildwood. That's right. It's actually a really cool location for that.
On the beach?
Yeah. So they run the monster truck, the real monster trucks on the beach, and the grandstands pretty much suck for that. But it's pretty much just like bleachers sitting in the sand. And by the time we got seated, we were practically sitting on the ground in the sand. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they had 3 shows, I think, that weekend. And while we were there, I think I pretty much went to every show, but because they're only like 2.5 hours long.
I think that weekend we missed each other by a week.
That's right, because you did that like breakfast thing on the.
I did the breakfast on the Ferris wheel, which was pretty damn wild, especially considering for me, I'm absolutely scared of heights. Yeah. So you throw me all the way at the very top, and you're trying to eat. It's crazy.
Get your waffles.
Yeah, and I think the following week or something like that, you were out there. I was like, damn, we just missed each other.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, right now, my buddy sent me a message from Ocean City, New Jersey, and it's fine. The weather's fine, everything. And here it's absolutely pouring. We're supposed to get like 6 to 7 inches of rain. The wind is kicking up in the back. So if you lose me, it's because my internet just went totally down, and Jason will have to carry the rest of the show himself. And actually, you guys watching, you can pop into the show if you want to. I put a link in the description on Facebook and YouTube, and you can just click the link, and it'll put you backstage. You can choose audio or video. If you don't want to be on video, you can be on audio. So if I crap out here, maybe somebody could join Jason. Though you can't see who's backstage, you're telling me, so maybe you won't be able to put them up on the screen.
No, I'll just have to cancel out and we'll be done.
All right, yeah, you could just close it out then. Just say, well, that was real. We won the nationals. We killed it. That's it, folks.
Yeah, I made some notes here of things. You got the big schedule behind you.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
That's something Hannah made up today. She was working on this. We kind of have a calendar of events that we go through every month or two, and this is kind of what's coming up for September, October.
Turf Nationals.
Yep. So, what's not making it on there, and I'll add that to my list because it's the first weekend of September.
You just made the list.
So what's not on there is because we're not attending from our company, but the Surf City Classic that is going on this weekend.
Oh, this weekend?
Yep. And just with so many events, and we traditionally always make the Surf City, but man, it's just the way they have these things scheduled right now. It was impossible for us to do because not only did we have the Roar Nats that we just came back from. I mean, literally, Paul just drove in Monday night from that. I mean, and with Lee and Hannah and I flew, but we just got in from that, and before that, we had the Wicked Weekend. Rich was up there at the Wicked Weekend. The Mugen Challenge was that weekend. We had some buddies out there, of course, and drivers, and before that, I was in North Carolina at the Back to School Monster Truck Bash. That's an awesome event, and then the RC Monster Truck event, Solid Showdown, was the week before that, and then I think is when I was at Mimi's the week before that, testing with Spencer. So
yeah,
I've probably been on the road maybe 3 of the last 4 weeks, or like 5 of the last 6, or I don't know what it is, but it's a lot. Just kind of hammering out these different things that I had planned, and a good thing the one was with Allison. We went to the Back to School Bash event. We did that together, and there's one other weekend that I was home there, but a lot of race stuff, a lot of events, and a lot of success.
Now they have the monster truck like a school bus, right? Back to the school.
There is a truck that is called Higher Education.
That's it, Higher Education.
That has a big school bus body on it.
Right. That wasn't that Back to School?
No, it wasn't there.
That would have been great.
It would have made a lot more sense, right?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes hand in hand there.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless that's like a totally different event.
Well,
is he part of the Monster Jam?
No.
Oh.
We got Dustin Spallone, the cool bus. I think it says that on the front.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. And then I think on the side it says Higher Education, I think.
To school for cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool bus.
So going back, Mugen Challenge, we had Adam Drake was kicking some butt up there. Had a good race there at LCRC again.
Well, he had the Adam Drake Clinic.
Yep.
Which sold out like that. I couldn't get in.
Yeah. I mean, you're one of the ones that needs the clinic, and you couldn't get in.
Yeah, I couldn't get in. I tried. Chris said, too bad. Sold out.
Yeah,
Chris wants to know, will Jason be making it to Portland and the Carpet Champs at PDX Underground?
No. We have that here, I believe. Do we have it on our schedule? Our calendar? Yeah, we do. The reason I'm not is because we have our fall indoor nationals is that weekend in Kentucky. So originally we had our fall indoor nationals was at RC Clubhouse in Warren, Michigan, but they had to close up that track because property was being sold. So we had to move our fall indoor nationals, and it went over to this event. And if you can move your head to your left,
Which way?
go to your left.
This is my left over here now.
Yeah,
so-
go that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
It's
disappeared for a
Who's your RC in Indiana?
What's that?
Who's your RC in Indiana is
Oh,
where
okay.
our fall indoor nationals is
I can just
on that
throw
on that
myself out
list.
the picture. It'd be a lot less.
But yeah,
for everybody. So yeah, so you're not going to that.
but I'll be at the fall indoor nationals, and then Mayfield, coincidentally, he's running that race
Okay.
in that Chris is talking about up in Portland. So Mayfield's making that. He'll be there. Matty G will be there. I saw Brent Telke's going there, so they got a good turnout coming together for that event, and then we have a good one going for our new fall indoor nationals. I'm sure Dakota will be there. We'll have a good turnout, so looking forward to it.
Jarrett wants to know, Jason, are you going to be at Masters of Dirt this year again, or the carpet race in Minnesota, since they are the same weekend?
I'll be at the carpet race in Minnesota, but we will have Paul at the Masters of Dirt, and several of our guys, of course, will be there.
Carson wants to know, have I missed anything cool in the RC industry? Might have to drop by a race sometime.
I think he's missed. I think he's definitely missed out a little bit. It's been a little different. I think he was kind of he was in at an I'm not say interesting time, but he was in at a time when RC was a little bit different. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now that wasn't happening when he was involved or when he was doing the majority of his races. So, yeah, we miss him out there. Another good character, another awesome driver, running 10 scale and 8 scale. But we've had a lot of good stuff going on. Obviously, the couple years that we haven't been, at popped her in there.
Mhm.
Looks good, right?
Yeah.
Fred's showing me a little update here. Yeah, I like Carson at the races. It was good. It was an interesting time period. He was involved there with team associate or Schumacher. Well, it goes way back. There was Durango, then there was team associated, then it was Yokomo. So it's interesting. You don't get somebody that podiums at a Worlds that I think he did. I think he got third in Italy, 2004. I think you don't see somebody that podiums like that and then isn't into racing anymore.
Oh, not racing anymore.
Yep. He's building real stuff with his dad, and he's got some really cool stuff. And then he'll show some vintage stuff occasionally, which is what I like. I think his
Vintage
dad-
RC stuff.
No, vintage racing things. Like I think his dad built a lot of, the stuff that used to be on TV back in the 80s and the 90s when they used to show like the Mickey Thompson off-road stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think his dad built, he always shows some of those things. And that was a big period of time, back then it was Ivan Ironman Stewart's.
I used to love that video game.
Yeah. That video game. And that was tied in with that time period of stuff on ESPN. It was pretty neat.
Pete Phillips, our good friend Pete Phillips, he wants to know, is there any plans to promote a national monster truck series?
I don't think we'll be doing a series for
Just made a
monster
list.
trucks. You know what, we had actually started with the idea several years ago in 2019 that we were considering doing it. We were going to have 3 events, but in the first one we did as our pilot, I guess you could say, was the Monster and Mega tour we did in Gaithersburg. And that was kind of when we were testing it out, testing the waters, because we actually called it the Monster and Mega series. I think it was called the Monster and Mega series. So we were.
Monster Mega.
I have to check it back. I have to check it out again. But
Wait, that was
that was at Mimi's in 2019.
Oh, okay.
We did that right at the end of the year, and we actually had a good event there. It ended up being different than I thought it would be. It ended up being different than I thought it would be because I thought we were going to have more space, but Mimi moved the track, the off-road track, and a lot of different things. So, but we made the most of it, and it actually came out really well. But I think in the future we would like to do something. It's what we're running out of is time.
Time.
You know, yeah. All the we'll bring out these quotes, right? You can read them in a bit that I sent you.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent me a bunch of quotes today.
We're running out of some time. We're running out of people. Go ahead. People to manage the events. We're running out of the ones I'm able to go to, and I like to go to a lot of these things.
You may delay, but time will not. These are Jason Rona quotes.
Well, I found on the internet.
Yeah, we'll claim them.
Okay.
Waste your money and you're only out of money, but waste your time and you lost a part of your life.
Oof. Yeah. That's a hurt.
Pretty deep stuff here, Jason. The only real luxury is time. You can't get time back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you lost it, you can never get it back. Starting to get a little tear in my eye here. There's no greater harm than that of time wasted. See, Jason's sending this stuff to me because he thinks I'm just wasting time.
Well, you're wasting my time. That's what it was about.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You were eating your raviolis, so I was sending you all these quotes about wasting time.
Jason, you're never ready at 5 o'clock. Ever.
Sorry. One time I was ready.
You close at 5. 5:05, Jason logs into the studio and he's like, "Where the hell are you?" I'm downstairs making raviolis.
Down in the basement.
And I'm like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
5. I look at I'm like, what time is it? And I'm like, it's 5:05. How's Jason ready by now? 5 o'clock. It's crazy. Slow day at JC.
The one that was told to me, which I always thought was a little not offensive, but just like demeaning in a way, was Nickel holding up $1. You heard that one?
No, I have not. Nickel
went to lunch. Back in the day, we'd go to lunch, and they would say that, I'd be in my office, like typing on something, and a guy would come in and say, "All right, when are we going to lunch?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just finishing something, doing this, doing that." And you got the couple of the big wigs were waiting on us, and he's like, "Hey, Nickel holding up $1 here." Like, hey, sorry.
I do like that. Okay. I like from Back to the Future. Let me give you a nickel's worth of free advice. I love that line. So Pete, to follow up on Pete's question there, he says, "I got my hopes up for a Stampede class at Indoor Nationals."
We tried it. We ran it at the race. Pete ran it, and that was the year that something really interfered with our whole series, and it really caused us not to have that class, and that was disappointing because that's kind of like one of my babies. We started a Bigfoot class on the Super Cup back then, and then we called it Tough Truck, I think, on the Super Cup, so we can branch out to the vehicles that we were using. But I don't know what else to say.
Checkered past checking in. Get it? Checkered past checking in. Jason is the dollar now. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't. I'm the nickel. Jason's the dollar. Holding them up. But again, let's be fair here. You're never ready at 505. All right. Any AJ's asking any plans on bringing back the Clash?
You know, for many years I used to schedule it in. I used to put it on the calendar in case we wanted to do it. I used to skip a month on the Super Cup just in case we wanted to do it, and it never worked. It's about the location. You know, I think we talked about this a couple times on the podcast that I mean, the last one we did, I think, was 2013 or 12. So, man, it's coming up on a long time. We haven't had the race now, and I got discouraged the last year we had it, and it wasn't because it wasn't a good race. It was just because of the way people were acting at the race. Was kind of discouraging, and it was like, to me, it was unmotivating.
Wow.
But it was unmotivating to do it again. But it was really that facility in Flowood was great for the Clash. It was difficult for us to get to, very expensive for us to go to, but it was the perfect facility to do it. Today, I think we would need another track that could. It'd have to be like almost like a Thornhill facility in Texas where you could run 8 scale and run 10 scale, somewhere where we could do both and we could do the event. But again, scheduling it in, originally the date of the Clash was the second weekend of December because that's when it had to be at Lake Park, because the first weekend in December was an art show in the park. So it couldn't be the first weekend. It had to be the second weekend. Then we continued with that tradition of that date. And then we went to Flowood. We moved back to September, I believe, because of the weather. Because if we would have had it in Mississippi in December, it was going to be very cold. So we moved back. And that actually worked out really nice. But that's where it's been. And, you know, I'm waiting for that right track to hit me and just be the slap in the face of, this is the facility you've been waiting for indoors to have both 10 scale and 8 scale again on the same track.
Chris, going back to the Ivan Stewart 80s era, Ivan Stewart was a precursor to the present short course, in my opinion. Corey Jordan checking in. Left tire salute. Corey Jordan, what's up, buddy?
If you ain't ripping, you're tripping.
You gotta love that. Alex Sturgeon. Hey, Alex, I need to know if you have the RC Surfer at your shop, by the way. I don't know if Will asked you or not.
In stock.
Yeah, in stock. Ship for free. And free also.
Free product.
Yeah.
As well.
The last Clash I went to, someone ran into my e-buggy while I was walking or waiting to practice. Whomever it was never came forward. Florida? Okay. So what goes on at the Clash? Why is that such a chaotic event?
You know what? I've had many people tell me it was their favorite race they ever been to.
Well, what'd you do different?
We had 10 scale and 8 scale at the same race, and we always had some kind of action there. The very first year.
So the 10 scalers hate the 8 scalers and 8 scalers hate the 10
scalers. The whole idea when we started, this was before, this was just as brushless motors and LiPo batteries were becoming the thing, was to introduce, because at the time 8 scale and nitro was so much more popular than 10 scale, because we'd kind of gotten to the end of 10 scale off road as it used to be. Late 90s, early 2000s technology, brushed motors, regular batteries. It was a little broken, and we were still running it. It was doing well, but there was a lot of new stuff coming along. So I was like, we need to have a race to show the 8 scale crowd that the 10 scale stuff has improved a lot. And that was the whole idea. So the whole idea was that the 8 scale crowd could see the new technology in 10 scale, and then 10 scale racers could see the technology in 8 scale, and they could cross over, they could see each other race. And then the whole idea was that we brought in Ryan Mayfield to show people that you could drive at his level in both 10 scale and 8 scale. And my favorite driver is somebody that can do it all. So that was my whole intention of the first clash, was to show that there's new technology in 10 scale, brushless motors, LiPo batteries. We ran long mains. I think they were 10, or we ran one 15 minutes once. I think we ran a mod truck main with that's when one of the years Kinwald came. Him and JR Mitch raced in mod truck, I believe, and that was a 15-minute main. But we did 10 or 15-minute single mains at our very first clash. So that was what was unique about it, is we did something different. We had this idea of the way that things were coming along and progressing in the business. We wanted to mix and match the 8 scale crowd with the 10 scale crowd. We did a driver social back then. This is like 2008. Something that really had only been done at the Dirt Nitro Challenge were these driver socials. We did one of those, and then we kind of did like impromptu driver socials, because the British guys came in and they wanted to mix it up and go out at night and party down a little bit. And so all of us wanted to go do it. We did that in Tampa. We did that in South Florida. I remember Brandon Rohde with Live RC. He was at the very first one. That was the other thing, is we had the first live event on Live RC in Florida, which was the first clash. That was a big thing. I remember sitting there in the pits. Allison had her laptop open. We were watching, the event was going on Live RC, and we were there doing it. And that was a big deal then. So we brought all these things to the very first few clash events, and a lot of people have awesome memories of it. And we had some that had rain problems, but we only had that ran in Florida, and there was only one that we didn't get to finish the mains. I believe all the others we ran all the mains.
Nice.
So a lot of the things we were doing at that very first race in 2007 really became things that we incorporated into other events down the road. We incorporated into our national series, and there was a lot of things that we did then that we were a little ahead of our time with. A couple things that didn't quite stick, but there were some things that did work and that have stuck in the business since then. So and then we had international racers. We brought over a couple international drivers. We brought over, and then they brought friends, and we just had there was a lot of bucket list things that I wanted to do at events, and we checked off a lot of those on those first clash events.
Alex is saying he was so dialed in 2011 before the rain came.
Yeah, I remember that was the year we had Jorn there, I believe. Jorn and Gerd from Durango. I mean, we had some really cool things happen at those events. I ran e-buggy 2 times at the Clash. I know I won 10 scale buggy a couple times at the Clash, which was or 4-wheel drive buggy, which was really hard back then. Um, so we did some really cool things back then, and that was really before we had all these events for profit like that are running today that are kind of in the schedule that are big events, and then we have just so many events. I mean, there was very little of these events back then, and it was easy for us to do this. And then, um, so that's the idea.
Oh, Alex, by the way, that is the Kyosho RC Surfer. Cannot find that. Actually, I think someone told me Tower Hobbies has it, but I wanted to support a local hobby shop. Well, wouldn't be local for me, but a hobby shop I wanted to support. So yeah, if you got a Kyosho RC Surfer and you're willing to send that to me, that'd be great. Just hit me up on Messenger. It's got to be free. I'm kidding. Where was I here?
Alex,
Oh, we might as well get to this. We're talking enough. Let's see. We'll get this real quick here.
well, Alex was stating here that he loved running his e-buggy and mod buggy at the same event, which was the whole idea. That was, that's why we did it, and it worked out. It was great. I loved doing it. I loved being able to show that our guys were versatile, and then other drivers were versatile. You could watch Ryan Mayfield run his 2-wheel buggy against Tebow and Cavallari in one qualifier, and then in the next you're watching him race his 8 scale against the same guys. I thought that was just, to me, that was intriguing.
I guess it is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you just don't see that, and that's what we did. That's what I wanted to show was that you could be talented in many different sides of this, and it's still one of the things that I like today.
So when did the Clash end?
I think our last one was 2013 or 12. I believe it was either 12 or 13. And the last 2 were at Flowwood RC Park in Mississippi. And that was a big indoor track that was it used to be like I think the city built it in Flowwood for like gymnastics. And that didn't do well. They convinced them to turn it into an indoor RC track. It was a great place for that. It was amazing.
All right. Alex does not have the Kyosho RC Surfer. I thought it'd be cool to take to the beach next week, but can't locate one. Is the I can't say the word, Jason. Pendulum starting to swing back to 8 scale from 10th, especially at a national level size event. Like
let's see.
He's thinking hard.
Alex, a Hobbyplex. He's saying that you could do the Clash at Hobbyplex, which is
true. I think. Oh,
well, I mean,
talking about
I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it until he put Hobbyplex, but it is a place you could do the Clash also. Okay, so back to Mike Fuller. That's a tough thing that's a tough one. I don't really know how to answer that. I think that there is maybe more of a divide between 8 scale and 10 scale than there has been in terms of the type of racing that you're doing, the surfaces that you're running on, and the way the cars are built for competition. So I think that there's more of a line in the sand than there ever has been. Um, I don't know that the popularity is swinging um, back to 8 scale 100%, but I think 10 scale is still the bigger locally raced class. But I think the national caliber events are larger in 8 scale because you have a more of a traveling mentality. And people don't mind traveling to these 8 scale um, weekend throwdown type events because they gear up for that. I think the 10 scale crowd is a little more like, hey, I race on this kind of surface, I race in these conditions, and if the race isn't somewhat easy for me to get to and it doesn't match the conditions I always race on, then they don't want to go outside that. So I think the 8 scale drivers, they have the conditions are more um, suitable to a lot of drivers, and the turnouts are larger. I think because of that on a national level. 10 scale, I think, is still doing well on a local and regional level, but you don't get as many traveling drivers because of these differences in surfaces that they're accustomed to. I think there's a little more glamour in winning in 10 scale or in 8 scale, I mean, because I think there's more people following it from a worldwide level in 8 scale. 10 scale, I believe people have interest in it, but not near as much as the 8 scale, it seems.
I know I enjoy watching 8 scale over 10th.
And I think and that's an easy way to put it. But from my perspective, when I watch these things live, um, I really like watching the 8 scale races also, just because they're a little longer. But the 10 scale, man, there is just some mega skill involved in negotiating the track at the speeds that we were just doing at the nationals. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, these things are like they look fast on live RC at
They are.
nationals, and you're like, what was it? I was watching. You're like, yeah, this is 13.5, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're like,
you were like, wow, these things are fast. I'm like, yeah, this is only 13.5. Wait till the mod guys are.
and I was like, oh, what?
And
Good.
what Alex is saying makes a lot of sense. He likes watching 8 scale races, but he enjoys racing 10 scale. I mean, that's probably, I would say there's a lot of people that are like that.
Yeah, I couldn't race 8 scale, but
10 scale. Just 10 scale is so much. There's more of just of a divide in drivers and skills that are on both sides of this line, and there's not as many crossover, not as much crossover talent between the two, and I think it's just we're really in 10 scale now. We race on tracks where you race slicks, or you're racing a carpet or turf track which has pin tires. There's very few treaded tire tracks left for 10 scale on dirt. And I think that probably hurts it to some extent. I think if there was that, we have a good basis for indoor racing with dirt. We have a good basis for indoor racing on carpet, but we just don't have a good one anymore for outdoors. And I think if we did have that, 10 scale would be a little more appealing to some who are kind of stuck in the middle, that they're stuck between the old school way of doing things, the new school way of doing things, and outdoor racing would suit those guys.
So if you're gonna have a clash, Jason, a clash race again, for the love of God, do not do it at winter time at Alex's place. At the Hobbyplex. Wintertime at the Hobbyplex. Not a great idea.
We
talked
raced
about
there in
that last time.
February last year. And
Yeah.
that was tough.
It was brutal, huh?
It was brutal.
And silly me, I didn't even know it got that cold there. All right. Almond says 8 scale is awesome, but the price of entry is a big commitment, even more for families. I think you see hobbyists move up to 8 scale as too many just jumping into 8 scale.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, they're very expensive vehicles, which you don't see. We talk about this sometimes as people think this is a kid's sport or a kid's hobby, but it's really an adult thing, enjoyed by adults, and that's especially an 8 scale. And when
Man, you know
you
what I did notice? A lot of little kids running around at the Nats.
there was,
Yeah.
and there's more of, I think there's a little more kids in 10 scale. Um, in 8 scale, there is some
Well, it's easier
as
to get
well,
into. I mean,
but
price.
yeah,
I was like, damn, there's a lot of little kids over here running around racing.
there was at Mimi's, yeah.
Yeah. Rob Sturchill says, "Oh, come on. It wasn't that cold." Right? He was wearing shorts. I think Rob was wearing shorts there.
Yeah, he was just like, "Man, come on, it's not that cold out here."
Rob's a
You know what? And we made it. To be honest, being inside was fine. Outside was brutal. I remember asking Alex, I was like, "Do they like plow the parking lot or like?" I'm like all concerned, like I've never been in like a snowstorm like this, you know? It's like, yeah, they come by at night and plow it. And just like, really? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm like at this minivan, front wheel drive. I'm like, I'm like trying to get it in a parking spot. The thing's just all loose, and we're trying to go to Starbucks, and
a
it was,
dude from Florida
yeah.
trying to go to Starbucks in a winter storm. Hilarious. Almond backs it up. He says, just don't stop making double Ds. You're one of the last making 10 scale treaded buggy tires.
We love those. I mean, we made a version 2. I mean, that's how much we like those tires. Is the double Ds were our first 10 scale and first tire in general. It's still in existence today. We still sell it, and we've made a version. We like it so much, we made a version 2.
Oh. Mike Fuller says, I agree with Almond. I'm spending $900 on entries alone for the I'm spending
that caused you a little issue, huh?
I wasn't sure if I was reading. I'm spending $900 on entries alone for the boys at AMS. What does Jason think of the new format and pricing for AMS? What? Wait a minute, $900? How many boys are you putting into this race?
Well, let's see here. So,
how much is the enter? How much
yeah,
is it
right
then?
there. It's the entry fee is $150 a class.
Oh my!
So the boys got their 3 classes each. So, what they did is a couple things. All right, Rob, we're making them. Fuzz bites. What they did with the entry fee is they limited the entries to, I believe, 350 instead of taking 500 entries. So they raised the entry fee
from,
I want to say before it was probably in the 80 to 90 range, maybe somewhere around there. Between 70 and 90 is probably what it was. And most of those races are in the 90 range.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Jeez.
Which is really expensive.
Yeah. Well, especially, 3 boys you're putting into a race there, or a whole bunch of different classes. $900.
I don't think the format is worth more money. That's what I'll say.
What's the new
I
format?
don't. Essentially, they're going to do um, a top three consecutive lap qualifying type format, which means say you have 5 minutes on the track.
Yeah.
You do a traditional qualifier, you do 5 minutes, and best time in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Most laps, least amount of time. In this, they're doing it like they would do seeding at a traditional race, where it's your best three consecutive laps, lowest or fastest three consecutive laps. That's your qualifying time. Then, so they're going to sort by that. So you're going to have 5 minutes to do it. So no matter what, you're out there for 5 minutes and you're just going for three consecutive laps, which I don't like at all. So to me, that format is no good. For me, I don't think it really helps anybody. Um, I just think it's kind of gimmicky, and but it is what it is. We've ran it. We've used it before. We've used it on the Super Cup. We tried it, and we tried it in our Florida races, Lance's Florida Championship Series. I don't think it's. I don't think it's good. Um, there's a few things that Paul has pointed out about it that specifically that he didn't like about watching it and being involved in it. And then they have a series. They have a different format, finishing, qualifying, going into main events. That you run the mains a little differently. The B mains, you bump into the A main. There's just a whole different format, and we can dissect it more. We could pull out the paperwork, but essentially that's kind of where it's going. And I just don't think that the format change is worth the extra money. Um, to me, I've told you before, or told Gotti before, I said, come to the Nationals for watch the qualifying. I know you say you like the mains. And I said, you know what? I love the qualifying. I love the 5 to 7 minute qualifying runs where guys have to put in their best 5 or 7 minutes. That's my favorite part as a racer. And I like that part. I don't like this whole 3 minute blast or three consecutive blast thing because I don't think it gives you an accurate representation of the guys that have their equipment ready, um, ready to go for a long period of time. Uh, I don't think that it shows what they're capable of doing um, for 5, 7, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I think it's just it's a way that somebody can um, scramble 3 laps together and be considered fast until the main events come around, where you have to do it for 30 or 45 minutes. So, uh, of course, the pros, the badasses, they can do it either way, but it's not going to make that big of a difference there. But I just don't think there's really anything broken with our necessarily with that system. But in Dave Lycom's defense, who runs all these races or is the owner of these race events, he has 5 events to mess with.
Mm.
So he can run one with a different format because he has 4 other successful ones. So I think he's using this as an experiment to limit the entries, charge more fee, so you still get the same amount of money, but you can run a little different of a format um, for the racers. So it doesn't hurt him one way or another. And I think the first year will probably be pretty popular because people want to try something different or new. But ultimately, I think there's still a good format for the racer. Um, everybody keeps saying that, oh, well, this would be so much better to watch, or this will be so much better for spectators. There is no spectators at these things. It's just family and friends and family. So maybe you can say it looks good on live RC or a live footage, but you still have to let people know what's going on um, to make it worth watching. So that's the tough part. What Paul mentioned that he didn't like about this 3-lap system for qualifying was he said, 1, he had no idea what was going on when he was watching. 2, nobody wants to get out of anybody's way because they all think they're on 3 good laps. So in a traditional qualifier, when you're 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever, you might be on a good 5-minute run. The announcer is saying that you're the leader of the qualifier. You're coming up on somebody. They give you some room. You get by. It helps them. It helps you. You get by. You finish off your run. But this, what Paul mentioned, was watching. None of the racers gave anybody any room or any space because they thought they were on their best fast
Right.
lap. So he said it just made the qualifiers chaotic,
Chahos.
and then it just he said it just really made the racers more mad at each other
Well,
because they were just upset that, hey, I was on my good 3 laps, you got my way, and the other guy's like, well, I was on mine too, and like it was just made it more confusing. So I think it's just going to add some chaos to it. Um, in the end, the same fast guys win, but it's just a different way to get there. So, and a bigger entry fee. I don't know that. I know what the idea is if you're selling these things out 500 or 600 entries,
yeah,
why
make
not?
up for what they're losing.
You can increase the cost and then just take less entries, and I get it. But when you're talking like Mike Fuller here, and he's got to spend $900 for his 2 boys to run all 3 classes, which he would normally run.
Wow.
Um,
Good word that.
it makes it kind of a consideration not to attend because you're thinking, hey, I could do 2 other races for this. I could do two races for the price of this one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I anticipate the first one to be good, and then people will have to decide from there what they liked about it, what they didn't like, and they'll probably make adjustments. I mean, we do our 10 scale races, we run our indoor national series stuff. The entry fees are like between $40 and $50. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
do that.
you run a race like this, and they're asking for 150.
So there's no oh, you're entering 2 classes, so you're getting a discount.
No. Yeah, that's the other thing at our events where you start off. And we're talking about 10 scale too. We're talking about a hobby shop or track that's doing these.
Yeah.
They're, it's between $40 and $50, and then the second entry is like 35 and 30. You know what I mean? Like it steps down so you can race the 3 classes, and it's more inexpensive. It's just hard to say what's the right and the wrong way. I know that there's a lot of people that roll in motorhomes and complain about the price, and then I know that there's other people, that are on a budget but never complain at all. So it's just, you never really know until it all happens. What's all really going to happen.
That's one thing I noticed when I was at LCRC, the motorhomes. I mean, man, there's people out there with money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it was at. Oh, Eric Vocal, good friend of ours. He's always running the RIP logo on his cars for us. Appreciate it. I enjoyed the dynamic of pitting and racing outside 8-scale racing in the Northeast in the summer. No need for sauce and tire prep. Yeah, I love pitting.
That's probably the toughest part about 10 scale indoor racing is the tire prep. It's probably the biggest deterrent of doing it, I would say.
That'd be mine.
And I think this year has probably been the easiest at the Mimi's, talking about the Roarnats and Mimi's. I think this was probably the tamest tire prep nationals I've been to in a long time. It was, we kind of had our, the tire that the silver compound tires were working good. Some of the guys, were using our tires, sanding them down. You just do a sauce before you ran, and you ran. That was pretty easy. And then we had our Smoothie 2 tire, which was a pre-made slick which guys were using. Actually, Dakota won with them in 2-wheel, and that was really easy. He said he just mounted them up. I scuffed them with Scotch Brite and sauced and ran, and that was probably the easiest. So doing it that way, this is probably the easiest one that we've ran in several years for 10 scale. Probably the worst one was either the first time we went to Mimi's, and was that 2017, and then the next year 18. Those were the two hardest years, I think. 2017, 18. That was where the tire prep was really nuts. Almost as bad as drag racing.
Oof. Speaking of drag racing, Randy says, I was at the 2013 Clash with Tim Smith.
Yep.
So Tim Smith raced.
This is a different Tim Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the drag racing Tim Smith.
No. There's another Tim Smith that was from Georgia. Awesome guy.
Okay.
I'm sure Randy can attest to that. And Tim was a big RC racer in those days and made the circuit, man. He was awesome.
Wow. All right. Well, then there's that. Not the Dragsmith. Dragsmith. Not the drag racing Tim Smith.
Well, there's two. So that as I know of, there's either 2 or 3 Tim Smiths, and there's 2 or 3 Tim Davises online. I've noticed.
Oh wow, that could get a little confusing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where did I leave off at?
Probably our buddy Jason down here. 7:01 p.m. He popped in. What's up? I noticed he got his real vintage car. He got that all prepped, sanded, painted. They've been working on for, what did he say, 2 years or something?
Yeah. I saw that and I'm like, I seen this car somewhere, right? And I was watching Columbo, and I guess it was. I love watching Columbo. Dude, are you watching Columbo?
I've never watched it.
You would absolutely love Columbo.
Really?
Oh, there's any Columbo fans in here? Let's go. Come on. Oh, Columbo's awesome, dude. You have Amazon Prime, right? Jason?
I do. Amazon Prime, yep.
All right, Columbo's on there. Please just watch an episode. I'll give you a name of the episode to watch. Watch it and let me know what you think. Peter Falk, man. You ever watch any of his stuff?
I know who you're talking about. I know what he
All right. So anyway, I said, like, dude, I just saw this car on Columbo, but I guess it's slightly different. Same. I guess his is a convertible, maybe Jason's. But anyway, it was just amazing. Like, I was just like, I saw his post on Facebook, and I'm like, I just saw this car. I know I did. Then I sent Jason a photo of the car from Columbo. And all right, well, that was my story. Next.
Good story.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this car. I don't know what type of car that was. Jason, what car was that? Nancy Fend says vintage cars are awesome. Dakota's mom checking in.
She's got her picture in the background with her vintage car, I believe.
What's that?
This is a 67 Chevy.
Because, man, I don't know nothing about older cars.
I think it's a 67 Chevy Chevelle is what she has.
Wow.
Dark gray or charcoal gray, or it's in the back. It's in that picture.
Yeah, I think I saw photos of that car online too, on her Facebook. Posted them recently, I think, too. Allman says, my fellow vintage racers are hoarding the RC10 B2 spares, so going to have to keep Shapeways busy this month. I get into the BK Classic. I'm not sure what Allman's talking about there.
I wonder what spares he's getting from Shapeways.
Yeah, what are you getting from Shapeways there, Allman?
I know it's hard to. I know it's hard to get the A arms. I think for the B2 are kind of rare.
And while you're on Shapeways, you can search 7XL and you can get yourself some Kirby Hand 7XL products. Nancy says, "Yep, with the J Concepts version, the match."
Oh. Yep, there you go.
Oh,
Nancy and I had a big conversation about cars and trucks when we were at the Silver State this year,
when
and
trucks are cool.
we had a similar. We bought. I got a truck, and she had a car, but we bought them from the same place in
What?
Michigan,
Oh, wow.
which was pretty cool. Um, when I had told you that I went up to Michigan and looked at a truck, you were um, busting on me, but that was our.
Yeah. Jason's like, oh, I'm on my way to Detroit to look at a truck. And I'm like, damn, I'm over here counting nickels to get a sub. All right. Jason says 73 Jaguar XKE V12. That's the car. So put that in your Googles.
Is that like a James Bond car? I want to say that
I
was
don't know.
referenced somewhere.
So Jason, the photo I sent you from Colombo, was that was the same car, right? Just a hardtop version, I think you said. Just blown away by that. Jason Santos has one. I don't know. I was like, wow. Jason, do you watch Columbo? Almond's saying the arms he's getting from Shape Boys, right? Is that what
Yep.
he's talking about?
I tell him I could design some up.
The B2 spare arms. So you can't get those anywhere.
No, I mean the car did come out in 1995, so or was it 90? No, it was end of
I think it was
95.
95. I remember
End of
man,
95.
Matt Francis on the cover. Could not wait to build that thing. I was like, I got the Matt Francis World Championship car. Jason's saying, yeah, it was a coupe and a few years older, the one that was on Colombo. But it was the same, I recognized the headlights and stuff, so. The car's not Jason's. He's restoring it for a guy. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think the work there. I mean, anytime you put, your, I get just blood, sweat, and tears. I almost said blood, sweat, and gears because that's an old video. That's a monster truck video, blood, sweat, and gears. But there's blood, sweat, and tears, which is when you're doing work like that. It's amazing.
Alex Sturgeon says, I just watched Columbo episode with a killer woman in black that turned out to be the sex psychiatrist. Wait, I wonder which one that I'm going through them now, but I think I saw that episode. Is that she was a rich lady though, and she lived in a mansion, and I believe that's the one. But Jason, I will send you a link, or I'll send you a episode that you should watch, and I think you'll be hooked, and you'll go right through them all. There's I forget how many seasons are up on Amazon Prime. I think they have 7 up. Almond saying, yeah, that Jaguar came out nice. Almost motivates me to get the T-Bucket finished. Okay.
Let's ask Jason, does he work on Fords? I'm really surprised he was working on a Jaguar.
Jaguar. I always wanted the Jaguar video game console. Almond, do you have the Jaguar video game console? It's too expensive for me back in the day. It's too expensive now. Everything's vintage. Chili Duncan, Peter Falk, better known as grandfather from The Princess of the Bride.
I'm actually looking up what a sex therapist does.
Psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Because a sex therapist can be a psychiatrist. That's what it says here on the old Google machine.
So, Alex, you're a big Columbo fan? Sometimes I just put it on in the background. Like, just have it on when I fall asleep or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't even know if we covered any of our topics that you had written down there. But anyway, we get on these, get in here with the comments. It's pretty fun. Jason Santo, working on anything? Currently have a 65 Mustang and a 32 Ford Vicky at the shop.
Nice.
Oh, he works on anything. Okay, I see what he's Alex Sturgeon says hasn't watched Columbo in years, Jason. They don't have internet out. Oh wait, internet was out and only thing on TV. All right. Well, check out Columbo. I think you guys would love it.
Is that his name? That's the thing, is that was his name?
Lieutenant Columbo
Lieutenant?
on the show. You would love it, Jason. I'm telling you.
Season 1. So it ran for 10 seasons, 69 episodes, and they're 73 to 98 minutes long. Is that right?
They're fantastic. You'll absolutely love them. And before you know it, they're over, and you're like, "Oh man, what the hell, I want to watch the next one." What's that? Go ahead.
I'm just looking at the what years this was going. This is from the 70s, huh?
Yeah, I believe so. Like late 70s, ran in.
Yeah,
maybe early 70s.
Show originally aired on NBC from 71 to 78. Wow. Columbo then aired less frequently on ABC from 89 to 2003. So that must have been the reruns.
Yeah. Okay. Very good show. I noticed the Peacock channel also has the Peacock. If you have the Peacock app, they also have Columbo up there. How many seasons did you say that ran for, Jason? The 10 you said?
Well, let's see here. The 2 pilot episodes in 1968 and 1971.
The first pilot episode is absolutely awesome.
The show originally aired on NBC 71 to 78. But yeah, it was 10 seasons total. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, 68 through 78, and then 89 through 98. I guess there was a whole nother spin of them.
So 10 seasons, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Peacock channel has them all, has 10 seasons up there, where Prime, I think, stops at 6 or 7. I don't know why it stops there. Maybe because Peacock has all the rights now or something. I don't know.
Where did this Peacock thing come from? It just like came out of nowhere.
NBC.
It's their streaming thing.
They always used the Peacock as their logo back then.
Yeah, but it just like, so they just started their own streaming app. So this must have just started like a couple of years ago.
I think the Peacock app just recently launched.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say November 2020.
November 2020.
It's so WWE Network moved over to the Peacock Network.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That they went through all that effort.
Well, they didn't want to have to devote manpower to run the network. So now they're able to free up a lot of manpower, a lot of people to do other things, because now Peacock handles the whole thing. They don't have to mess with any of the technology or anything.
Right.
So it kind of made sense when Stephanie was talking about it.
Stephanie McMahon.
Almond saying, yeah, no Atari Jaguar console. I'm kind of shocked by that, but I have a pristine Sega Saturn finally. Nice. Still has trouble being emulated to this day, 21 years later. Also from 95. Going to have to make a 95 only section in the den.
I have a truck for that.
Yeah, Jason has a truck for that. Yeah, a truck for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah. Where were we? Yeah, Columbo. Oh, there's a lot of Columbo podcasts out there also that you can download.
Oh my god!
I actually downloaded some podcasts and been listening to them, and it's just people reviewing the episodes.
Okay.
And so what I like doing is watching an episode and then listening to what the guys had to say about it. And there's a lot of times you miss not maybe miss things, but they give you like facts and stuff, and you're like, oh, that's a cool fact, and you go back and you watch it again or whatever.
I could see getting hooked on that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Typically, Jason, they show you the killer at the beginning, like he goes through his whole thing, or he or she, and they kill the person, and then it eases into Columbo coming in and trying to figure it out how they did it. So usually see what happens. Okay, Mike Fuller's saying it used to be NBC Gold, now they're calling it Peacock, the streaming service. Alex Sturgeon says, just one more thing. That's a Columbo thing, Jason. So when you're watching it, Columbo will walk away and then he'll be like, oh, just one more thing.
And then that's when
Columbo knows what's going on. He already, it's just great. He's always one step ahead of the guy.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, as he's walking away. Oh, just one more thing.
You ever seen that? There's a show that Alice and I watched called I'm just drawing a blank. It's called Bosch. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And he's a detective figuring stuff out. So that kind of reminds me of that. 7 seasons of Bosch. Amazon Prime Video. That's a good series.
Okay.
I liked watching that.
Well, if you watch an episode of Columbo, I'll watch one.
Okay. So I watched the pilot. Which one's going to be?
Yeah, because the pilot one that was really good. That's a very young Columbo too. Like later on, as the seasons, he kind of like looks very tired. Like it's supposed to be like that too.
Yeah.
He doesn't sleep. He's always investigating.
Mm-hmm.
But the very first one, he looks like a young Columbo. It's crazy. But that's a very good episode also. The very first one. Almond saying, yeah, B3 arms I'm good on. I don't know if they're talking to us or they're talking in the chat with everybody. I'm good on old stock from Associated. There's another company that makes molded front arms for the B3. Oh. The BK Classic Vintage class rules are specifically state 95 or older. Got to give those double X's a good run. You have any arm recommendation? You have arm recommendations? Give them to me.
Well, Jason brought it up here. There's somebody that makes molded B2 front arms. He just can't recall his name.
Okay, yeah. Jason's saying there's.
I think it's a guy from Michigan. I think it's the guy from Michigan that does it. I loved my B2 when it was in 1995. Jason's seeing something here in the background on the floor in my office.
Oh, I see something over there. Yeah. What is it?
Avante.
Damn.
Down here.
Okay.
I have a Tamiya Avante new in the box. Just bought this the other day. This is actually going.
Maya.
Yeah. Tamiya. Tamiya is what they say in the UK. Which makes sense. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, everybody has a different way of saying it.
I mean, I used to say Tamiya when I was a kid, so that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, so there's the Avante. Almond saying the year before the 96 Nats. Good. Got that one out of the way.
Got that in there.
Are we coming up on how many years from when are we coming up on the how many years ago was that?
Well,
I can't do
4 plus 21, so it's 25 years ago.
Oh, it is 25?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have to get Chris Bing on.
We just passed the 25 year.
Damn it. We got to get Chris
because it would have been the summer of 96, right?
All
summer of 96.
Next show, Chris Bing, everyone. I just got to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you're on the show, by the way. I think Chris is in Hawaii. I saw some photos. I think he's out there vacationing.
Man, still got that bonus money coming in from 96 now.
From the 96. Damn. Legendary.
It's a never-ending win.
Royalties just keep coming in. Might have to get that phone. All right, I think we can get to our talk about the Nats a little bit. I don't know where we left off. We just started. I mean, we don't want to go through. You got your. I got one too. We could start driving people nuts with that. It used to be our clicking of the keyboard, the mouse, and the keyboard. Now it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Pete's going to be like, "No, I hate this podcast."
So, Mugen Challenge, you went out there, right?
I did.
I don't know. Did you? I thought you went.
No, I did not.
This was just maybe you were just doing so much communication with Jubert. I felt like you were out there.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Because I kept bugging you. So this is how it goes down when. So you know the Mugen Challenge was coming up, and it starts. I start messaging Jubert like, "Are you there yet? On my way. Are you there yet? Yeah, I'm there. What's it like? What's going on?" Tons of questions. You know what I mean? Just annoying. And I was gonna go on Saturday, I believe it was, and it was just super hot. I mean, it was really hot out. And I said, you know what? Maybe Sunday I'll go. Because I like the mains anyway, right?
Yeah. You're the main guy.
But Jubert usually races his main on Saturday night. So. Sorry, Jubert. So where was I going with this? So it was super hot Saturday, and Sunday was it was raining here, and it looked really bad at LCRC, but I guess Jubert said it never really started. It just sprinkled a little and then it went away. But outside my port, it was like pouring. It was just absolutely pouring. So I was just like, well, I ain't going anywhere. And I ended up watching on 40. Toby Hampson does the 40, 49, 46. Is it 46 RC?
That sounds right to me.
46. Man,
I don't know what it's in reference to. Is it the 40s?
I think it's something to do with like the interstate up where he lives or something. Because it has like an interstate sign. Let's see, 46 RC. Yeah, 46 RC. Yeah, I was right. And he has a New Jersey 46. So he has the like a road sign there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So I just watched it on there. I mean, it doesn't get any better. I got live RC. I watched the Nationals on live RC, which was great. They had a nice camera angle. Could see everything great. Saw Jason walk by a few times. Saw Jason on his phone, checking the messages I was sending him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Technology, man. It is amazing, isn't it, Jason?
It's very amazing.
And I was watching the Mugen Challenge on 46 RC. I could broadcast he puts it on Facebook, and I could put it up on a TV. But, huh. So I appreciate those guys doing that for me. I like to think they're doing it for me.
You specifically.
Yeah, just me. So Eric was at the Mugen Challenge. He says the Mugen Challenge was fantastic. Bought an e-buggy just to join the fun. Drake Clinic was great.
You know, I would like to get together with Adam, myself, Mayfield, Spencer, the guys, Dakota, whoever. I'd like to do one of these clinics too, or put on a clinic. I'd like to be involved in one. So one of these events, we're going to have to kind of experiment with that a little bit.
Matt Adams confirming what I said, Jason. Mugen Challenge was great, but Saturday was stupid hot.
Yeah.
So you were not going to catch me out there.
Not gonna catch you. So I think Adam did TQ all 3 classes: e-buggy, nitro buggy, and truggy, and he won 2 of 3 because it did rain out the mains. But the truggy main,
Oh,
I
it
think
did.
he
It
had
did
a,
rain there.
yeah, they didn't get to run the nitro buggy or the e-buggy, I believe.
Oh, okay.
There it is, the RC Dream Team Clinic,
Oh,
including Jason Rona.
nothing will beat the Trinity Speedworks Series clinics.
Oof.
Joel Johnson.
That's another thing we could talk about. Well, we'll add that on the list.
We're going to be here till like 11.
Yeah, no kidding. But okay, so Mugen Challenge. We'll finish that one up.
Vegan challenge. Okay, drink one.
And they rained out some mains.
Okay.
Wicked Weekend. We had Rich go up there. We had to rent a van because we had our other van committed to going to the Roar Nats the following week. So Rich from J Concepts here went up and did Wicked Weekend. They had another Dave Lycum race time entertainment event. They had 500 or 600 entries. I just say 500 or 600 entries. It's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Safe bet. We had our guy Tyler Jones was up there representing, as many others, running J Concepts. But I know Tyler TQ'd Truggy, and he won e-buggy. Oh. So he's got 2 wins this year in e-buggy against the top level competition. One was at Silver State. The other one was here at Wicked Weekend. Jared Tebow won Truggy.
Oh, he did? Wow.
And then Cole Ogden won Nitro Buggy, which Cole has won that race, I want to say maybe 5 times, something like that.
Wow.
I think the only time he didn't win was when we went last year. We had it on the outdoor track in was that South Carolina we were in? Awesome track we were at. But yeah, I think that was the only time Cole didn't win Nitro Buggy at that particular race. So yeah, it was he was able to kick some butt there. And then we had our guy Tyler Jones doing so well, and we had a lot of drivers do well. We did, when you look at the results, we actually did really well in the open classes, and that was a good race for us. We were Rich up there, and we had Jackson Brunson helping out Rich in the pits. We had Tyler Hooks, kind of one of the first events that he was officially helping with J Concept stuff there at the Wicked Weekend. He was there doing some stuff there and also racing, so that was cool. So good race. And then now we're up to current with the Roar Nationals, where we just were over the weekend. You said you were spying on us through Live RC.
I had it on all weekend on TV in the living room and bedroom.
Where you were saying, man, those 13.5 cars are fast.
Well, I didn't see like 13.
Wait for mod.
But I was like watching them go down the back, and I'm like, holy shit. And then I text you, and you're like, yeah, dude, this ain't nothing yet.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I can never drive those things around that track, dude. Never.
I actually could bring I have all the cars from all our winning cars from the race. I could bring them in here and show them off.
Yeah, go get them.
Okay, I'll go get them. All
right, buddy. Get the Avante for Allman. So Jason's going to get the cars. Okay. But yeah, I was watching the Nats all weekend. And I don't know. I'm just amazed. Small track, and those guys are just ripping around there full speed. I'd be smashing the hell out of my car. Jackson Brunson checks in and says, "What's your thoughts on Cam Newton news?" I guess I could say I was shocked, actually. I thought he would. I was all for giving him another chance, a whole year underneath his belt, see what he can do. but I think they got a little upset with him with the whole COVID protocol. I guess he wasn't following some rules, so he wasn't allowed to be there for 5 days or something like that. But yeah, a little shocked. But I guess Bill Belichick feels that Mac Jones is should start Mac Jones. So I'm excited to see him play. Jackson Brunson there, Jason. He checked in, asked me about Cam Newton being cut from the Patriots. A little shocked. All right. Yeah. So what do we got here? Let me there we go.
Cole Tollard,
Mhm.
his national championship winning T6.2.
Nice.
We got the finisher body on here.
Mhm.
J Concepts finisher body. We got our Ellipse tires here, silver compound, made into slicks, our wheels, and
Titanium turnbuckles or aluminum?
I believe he's running the associated titanium
Okay.
turnbuckles here.
Right.
But he has this is a sweet looking body.
Yeah.
I mean, up close, this thing is really nice. I believe this is painted by Dark Side Designs. But you know, just the drip detail on here is amazing.
Mhm.
And he did a great job with his decal layout here from 920 Designs. So
paying a little homage to Kinwald there.
Yeah, I think this is a Kinwald style drip body, but not exactly the same back here. But
Right.
but yeah, got some nice decals on here. The spoiler.
Oops, sorry.
So yeah, this was the feel good story of the weekend. I think was Cole winning this class. It was amazing to see him win a class like this against the top competition. Stadium Truck's not as packed or stacked as it used to be, but the competition was still, top notch. Obviously, anytime you get a chance to beat Dakota, Ty Tessman, Cavallari, tops of the class, and even Paul Lemieux's son, which I don't know if you know this or not, but Paul Lemieux's son races and is one hell of a racer now.
Oh, definitely.
He was kicking butt, qualified second in modified truck. So, but yeah, this is Cole's truck.
Was Paulie out there?
He was there with
man.
Yeah, he was there with his son. So we can take a look at the body off if you want.
Now I wish I would have made that 3-hour trip.
I told you.
I mean, I get to see you, but Paulie's awesome. Paulie. I miss hanging out with Paulie in Chicago hobby show.
Yeah, I mean, look at this thing. It's
it's the T6
T6.2.
0.2.
Reedy Electrical. Not a lot of magical stuff going on here. It's just a
box stock.
It's very stock. I mean, I think he's got some carbon parts, and he's got, but I mean, it's nice truck. Yeah. We got these vehicles from everybody before they were able to leave, so we can, as Almond planned or commented here, you planning to do a breakdown? Yeah, we are. We're going to do a video in the garage.
Oh, nice.
The one thing that Cole never does on his bodies, I keep dropping the body clips. Don't you hate like that happens? He never cuts this part out back here. We always cut this up and around, and Cole never does that. He always leaves this little tailgate part in there.
Interesting.
I always thought that was like not a good thing, but he proved it wrong. So we'll put this body back on, and we'll go to the next car. Love the way this thing looks.
Yeah.
And the paint job, it's obviously you got to make a statement and go with the full pink on the rear of the body. But one thing that's nice about this is it really stands out on the track when he races with this color combo. Yeah. So, all right, we'll set that one down.
Right.
Here's Spencer's short course truck.
My favorite class, short course. Yeah.
SC 6.2 high flow body. We just talked about that earlier. Kirby was making fun of me for posting the info about the short course bodies, but that's something we're really proud of. We got.
Oh, he was just posting you.
I know, but we got 16. This body now 16 Roar National Championships.
Oh yes.
Paul worked on this body in 2011 for the. Worked on this in 2011 for the Roar Nationals at I'm drawing a blank on the hobby store name. Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the coolest track we'd ever been to at that time in 2011. So we worked on this high flow for 2011. Mayfield TQ'd and won that event, probably the peak of short course. And ever since then, this body's been on a tear. One of our favorites. Spencer's got the champion. We call them the champion nameplates and the number plates on here.
All right.
I believe Paul cut this body out. You can tell because it looks awesome.
Opposed if you did it, right?
No, if I did it, it would look really good.
There you go.
It would look really good.
Right.
But when Paul does it, it's awesome. So I like how Spencer laid his stickers out on here. Kind of went a little simple, but didn't do the massive ones. Some people put the real massive ones on here, but he's kind of got the nice 3 decals. Went Futaba up here, which I kind of liked. I thought that was kind of neat. Then on his fender here, he's got his Savox and ProTech aiming. It's kind of cool. We'll take the body off of this one. He's got the J Concepts Ellipse on here, sanded down to slicks. The Hazard wheels, which the Hazard wheels we also debuted in 2011. And a lot of people talk to us about the Hazard wheels. NorCal Hobbies. That's what I was looking for. Chile. I was wanting to say Northwest Hobbies, but that's Casey Vitale's track. So NorCal Hobbies. Probably look that race up on YouTube. People are watching. Look at that layout at NorCal Hobbies. Kevin Jellick built that track, and it's amazing. Spencer's body there. And you can see here, pretty simple again. Pretty simple truck. Spencer runs a little different electrical. He's got some carbon parts on here, though, that they're offering now. He's got his Hobby Wing speed control. He's got his Savox servo. He's got his Futaba receiver. He's got a ProTech battery pack and Hobby Wing motor. It's kind of a small aluminum pinion on here, though. I didn't expect the pinion to be that small. What is that? I can't even read it. Sorry, I got to take my glasses off.
8.
17-tooth pinion.
Wow.
But truck has a diff in it. But you can see the Champs ride straight off the track. 16 national titles for the high flow body.
And you're trying to get to what now?
Not trying to get to anything. We just think that's a pretty big number.
Right. I said like 20. So.
Well, no, we're at 20 total.
Oh, 20 total for that.
Yeah. Well, we have 20 total short course wins with the body.
Right.
But 16 with this one.
Gotcha.
So 4 others are from either the original Raptor body or our actually newer body, the HF2, we call it.
Mhm.
So we'll put this one away, but that wasn't really highly contested race in terms of entries, but Spencer wanted to run it, keep the winning streaks alive for Associated. They'd never been defeated in the class. That was important.
Hey, is this is like something I would say?
Hey, is that your comment?
Oh, what am I doing here? Alex Sturgeon says, "Can short course please be done now at the Nats? Enough already. It's like a special kind of torture."
Alex is probably right about that, and I think that recommendation was put in not to have it as a Roar National class. Yeah, I think that recommendation was thrown out there to not have it as a class anymore at the Roar Nationals. It's still a great club level, entry level vehicle, and they're still popular, but on a national racing level, I don't think it's quite the same. But either way, I'm pretty proud of it. We'll pick up 2 trucks. Maybe we can.
Jason Santos says Spencer needs a purple chassis.
All right, so
need the purple. Trinity used to make the purple flaked graphite.
So show us
Kirby Hand Edition.
So we got a stadium truck here and a short course truck here.
Okay.
So tell us which one do you like better?
Stadium.
We got some more. I'll go get some more cars.
Sturgeon Club and Regional, yes. Yeah, the short course is fine on the club and regional level.
Okay, hold on a second.
Alex Sturgeon says stadium. Chili Duncan, no surprise there. Short course truck. You like your short course, Chili? You let's see. Almond says short course stadium. Short course stadium should have died. Are you for real? Stadium's where it's at. Rob Sturgill, stadium truck with a longer wheelbase or scrap it all. Okay. RC Kevin says stadium even for Canada. That's right. Stadium. RC Kevin. Jim Hughes agrees. I think he agrees with me. Stadium. Oh, what do we got here? Jason coming back. A lot of people are voting for stadium, Jason. Stadium. Chili Duncan's the only short course truck vote.
We knew that was going to happen. All right, so ready?
Yeah. What do we got here now?
Here's our next badass ride.
Dakota Fend.
This is his 4-wheel drive, 22X4.
Which was ballistic.
I mean, yeah.
Checked out and was gone.
He was. For a track that size, for the winning he was doing with this thing, very impressive. Very, very impressive. TQ'd 3 of the 4 rounds, I believe, and won the first 2 mains. Maybe he TQ'd all 4 rounds.
Wow.
I don't know. Either it was 3 or 4 in this class, but he ran our Ellipse tires on this class, grounded down to slicks. Got our hard RM2 inserts in the front, our standard gray inserts in the back. I believe he was using his Trinity tire saws. Nice. Got our F2 body on here, which he's run our S2 a few times, but it seems like he goes back to this F2. He's got our S-type rear wing on here. It's a nice piece. And this thing was bad to the bone, as Dennis Anderson would say. He's got our fin turnbuckles on here. The original, I will say, the original fin turnbuckles.
Rob Jackson, no smoothie twos.
Not on four wheel. So here's his four wheel. He's got his Phenom series motors in here from Trinity, which actually look really cool.
Yeah.
6.0. So he had plenty of power. He's got the Pro Performance RC speed control, Spectrum servo, Spectrum receiver, Trinity battery, the white carbon, I believe is called. LCG white carbon. Look at me knowing my products.
I know, man. Jeez, your Trinity products too.
Knowing my Trinity stuff. So paychecks in the mail from Trinity to me for these product callouts. So yeah, did a heck of a job here with this thing. And Thomas Tran from TLR and Frank Root from TLR helping him out.
They were there too?
Yep, they were there too. Nice. Probably one of the cleaner Dakota wiring jobs you'll ever see. He's definitely got he's got that part of his game starting to get dialed in now. Here's the old F2 body. It's funny when you see people online, they're always like, they see all these people's vehicles and it's like, they probably got all this stuff you can't get. And
yeah,
it's like, I mean, sure, there's prototype parts from, here and there, but I mean, this stuff's pretty awesome. And they're all pretty stock, like we're showing. I mean, you look at
back in the day when I would lose, I'd just be like, they got parts I can't get.
Yeah, prototype stuff.
Prototypes.
So one thing we'll point out about Dakota's two wheel is, he's got the P2 body on here, which for some reason I think this just looks fantastic on this car. I don't know if it's with the front wing being off the tower that he uses that goes along with the P2, but for some reason that's just my favorite combination right now on this vehicle. And then really what stands out about all these being Dakota's cars to me is he always uses these, the Stick It One decals, but with the orange.
Oh, right.
A lot of people will use their decal. Their decals will be the color of their wheels, right? It's very common that if you use white wheels, your stickers are white. If you use yellow wheels, yellow. But Dakota's always used this orange. And that, to me, that's what really stands out about his car being his car, is having that orange in there.
Yeah.
So painted by Bradley's Fine Line Designs, this body. I forgot to point out on Spencer's short course that was painted by Larry Genova. And then this one was painted by Bradley's Fine Line. So right there we got our three paint pros that we've been kind of leaning on this year, between Custom RC Graphics and Larry Genova, Dark Side Designs, Chris Norlock, and then we got Bradley's Fine Line here with Bradley.
Nice.
So yeah, his two-wheel drive buggy, went over it, P2 body. He's got the front wing on here. He's got our these are actually the Smoothie 2 tires that Rob was alluding to earlier.
Yeah, there you go, Rob.
He ran these on the two-wheel. He's got our fin turnbuckles on here, the original fin turnbuckles. Point out. And then Got our 7-inch wide carpet turf wing. Oh no. Chad had to drop the
Drops the comment of yellow wheels win again.
if you want to win nationals, you run yellow.
Okay.
If you want to win worlds, you run white.
Oh, gotcha.
So and you're not allowed to change. You know what I mean? Like you can't take double advantage of the situation. Yeah. So again, we'll go into the sales pitch here. We got the the TLR 22 5.0 Elite. I guess this is called Trinity white carbon battery. He's got his Phenom Signature Series motor in here. I don't even know what wine this is. We'll just call it fast. Normally there's 7.5s is what we run in two wheel, but this is probably a 7.5 or a 7.0, I'm assuming.
Did the part numbers for all this stuff?
I don't know what the part number. I'm not that good. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, Spectrum servo, Spectrum receiver, and the Pro Performance RC speed control, which he's been using for about a year now. I believe he ran that first time was at our Turf Nats last year, and a great wire job with the Phenom Dakota Fin right on the heat shrink.
Looking clean. Alex is saying if you want to be a badass but not be able to judge corners, run black wheels.
Man, back in the 90s, I remember Rick Howard used to run black wheels.
Oh, yeah?
And, man, we used to make fun of his stuff. We used to be like, what is he doing? Then he'd go TQ a race with black wheels, and we're just like, we can't let this happen. It's like, that's just... But, his theory, and I think others' theory on that type of stuff is most race cars have black wheels, so I think that was his theory at the time. Was in racing, there's a lot of cars that have black wheels. So
yeah,
he's like, why not the RC car? For some reason, doesn't work quite as well, but it worked for him, I guess. And I ended up recording all these main events, all the AAA main events. We put them on YouTube today. So on our YouTube channel,
okay. Rich
got those edited together and put together. A lot of people were talking about at this race, Mayfield running his night body scheme.
I did notice that.
So I actually asked him about that prior to the race. I'm like, hey, you care if we paint these up like that? He's like, nope. He's like, I'll run that scheme all the time. I like the blue scheme the best, but I thought it'd be something different. And he did good with it in the 4-wheel, got third. So it was good to see. Georgia States, I think, is coming up this weekend, along with the Surf City Classic. Those are two things that are going on. We're going to have a lot of good drivers down at the Surf City at OCRC, and then Adam Drake's, along with other J Concepts drivers, be at the Georgia States, which I don't want to brag.
Oh, but I'm going to.
But I'm going to. We used to go to the Georgia States back in the day, and that was a race that we dominated from Florida. I will just say,
a little Georgia, Florida thing going on.
Yeah, we used to, and that was what people don't realize is how huge of a race the Georgia States used to be. That used to be 330, 350 entries, the Georgia States. And we used to go there and love doing that race. They also had another race called the Colonel's Classic, which they still have today. But both of those races were both like 300 entry races, and you really wanted to win them. And I was lucky to win a bunch of them.
Damn.
And Adam Drake used to race there too at the Georgia States.
Okay.
So he spent some time, I believe, South Carolina, and then he would practice at Score in Savannah, and he was somewhat local to that track for quite a while. Probably another reason he's there this weekend, but he spent a lot of time there at Score, so he's there to um, inflict some damage
Whoa. Take it easy, fellas.
on the racetrack.
Oh, gotcha. You answered this earlier, Jason. I don't think you're going, right? Jason's traveling to Huntington Beach.
No,
Not.
we have several drivers racing there this weekend, but we're not going to be able to do it with kind of this rundown we did of Mugen Challenge, Wicked Weekend, Roar Nationals, and then I'm going to Turf Nats next weekend, and everything we did before that. So, not doing Surf City. Disappointing because that's kind of one of the top races on the calendar, but just not going to happen this week.
Way off guys there.
Yeah, we got plenty of guys there. So, new products I had on my list here. New products we came out with. We got that new. Let's see here. We got that new Truggy body released. I'll go ahead and F2 Truggy body released on Friday, and that's been doing well.
Yeah, I was in there reading the comments.
Yeah, I mean you have the same.
Yeah,
you kind of have the clowns in there that feel like they have to say something relative to it, but it's been popular.
I like it.
It's been a it's been a big success on the track. Mayfield doing so well with it as he always does when we release something like that, and just another proud moment for us.
And I didn't think about it until you mentioned it too. Like, you could see the suspension work.
Yep.
I mean, I think I would want to see that. And it just looks skinnier and cooler, I think.
It's better.
It's better.
It'll be better long term.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So I think we'll see more of that. Got that out, which fits 5 different trucks. You do have to use a carbon fiber adapter for the front body and body mount, but that's part of the design. But we got one body mold, fits 5 trucks. So we'll start with the Mugen associated TLR, Techno, and HB. So fits all those trucks within a carbon fiber adapter. So pretty cool. I put a picture of our final one in the chat, and pretty happy with the way that those photos came out. Rich dialed it in, got it looking good.
Alex is asking, crawler tires and cab only creep.
I brought these out. We got a tire called the Tusk and the Hunk, which are going to be releasing in the next week or so here. These are actually the class 1 size versions, but we do have a class 2 size that we're releasing that Alex will like, I believe. And the cab only creep body still in the works, but it's going. And that's going. And what else do we have there?
Eric's asking, how much changed from the Truggy prototype to the final version?
Let me take a look at my photo here as a reminder. What we did, we raised the side pods a little bit because what we realized is when we ran the E-Nationals that it was nicer to have a little more clearance for the batteries. Yeah. So if you notice that when we ran the E-Nationals, the bodies on Ryan's and Spencer's truck stuck up a little on the left side because it was sitting on the battery. But what we did is we went ahead before we finished it is we raised both sides so it fits the E-Truggies as well. And we did some finessing to the front nose piece. We used a different front decal and didn't use as much as the F2 10 scale truck body arrangement on the front end. We went to more of a traditional decal layout there. And then we did some chamfering on the front nose piece, which is what's kind of different about our body is
Did some
the
what?
the nose of the body right by the cab. That's we did a little bit of chamfering there,
Hmm.
and
Pull that word quick.
we did a little bit of work to the rear end. I think in the body mount location, and then that was it. Made sure it fit the other trucks, and then we were rolling with it. So Paul worked on that quite a bit, and it was kind of a pain in the butt
Yeah.
to make it fit all these trucks. But I think ultimately, a dealer or a distributor is kind of nice because they only have to have one body.
Hmm.
So, and I think my favorite picture here is the side view of it. That's why I sent that one to you. So we kind of do a little, you can see on this, we went with the Night Scheme Mayfield paint on here, but on the wing, we got his wing button, the RM squared wing button, one piece wing button. That's red. And then we got our JC magnetic wheel nuts on here that are blue. So we got a little product placement going on this thing, and a little bit of color mixing, blue red combinations. So we got some, and then we got some other things that are about to hit here. We got that are about prep to go. We got a fan, kind of a simple fan. We're just releasing. Then we got a Camaro drag body. We got another rear. We got a treaded rear drag tire. The two crawler tires that we showed to Alex. Got those coming. And so we got some new products here in the next couple weeks that are ready to roll.
Nice.
One thing I wanted to point out that I was thinking of when I was at this nationals, I believe, and this is another bragging opportunity.
Love it.
I believe that we swept all the off-road nationals this year for J Concepts.
Yeah.
So we won all the classes, and 9 of those classes were open tire, and the other 4 were control tire, but they were also won by our drivers. So we won all 9 classes that were open tire, and the other ones our drivers won with our bodies, wheels, accessories, but those were control tires. So
damn.
I don't. This is what we were kind of going for this year. Mayfield got us started winning those 4 8-scale races, and I was really hoping to get the big 3 10-scale classes, which is to me 2-wheel, 4-wheel, and stadium truck. I was hoping to get those while we were up at Mimi's, which we did, and then we added on to that, getting some of the others. So that was the goal. I was hoping to get at least 2-wheel and 4-wheel. Those are the big ones. But then we ended up doing even better than that. So kind of a bucket list Roar Nationals experience this year for us. I don't know if that's something that can be done over and over. I don't, you got to have the right product at the right time, the driver at the right time. Obviously, we got Ryan doing so well, and then we got Dakota coming in and giving his Terminator impression of knocking down those 2 classes, 2-wheel and 4-wheel. So, yeah, it's was a great year. Our best year ever on the Roar National scene. I don't know if we'll ever be able to repeat that, but I hope we do. But if not, it was nice to be able to sweep once. I know when we started in the business, people kind of laughed at us. So
take that, crotch chop.
Take that. Yeah. I remember going to our first few event. I remember, people, numerous people say, "Oh, good luck doing that," or "How do you expect to compete, and how are you going to compete with this, or how are you going to compete with that?" And I remember one of our first couple 8 scale tires brought to the nationals. Mayfield TQ'd with it, and I remember Scott Hughes laughing at us. Well, good luck with those in the main, everybody trying to bust our balls, you
Right.
know, hating on us. But
Yeah. Haters will
but
hate.
but yeah, but we
Yep.
come a long way. Um,
Stadium truck, Cole Tollard.
Stadium truck Cole Tollard was the feel good of the weekend, I think.
It's awesome
Uh,
to see him win.
I would think even if you're Dakota, who TQ'd the class, and probably had you run those events over again, um, him being able to drive a little differently, maybe he could have won. But you know what? He didn't, and I think he would have. Um, he was happy that Cole won. He's known Cole a long time too, and Cole's probably one of the nicest guys, if not the nicest guy in the business.
Yep.
So it was cool to see him get that win, and he beat some good guys to do it. And it wasn't just the mod truck win. He qualified second in 2-wheel buggy, finished third, and he qualified, I believe, third in 4-wheel. And did he finish third or fourth? Oh, he got fourth in 4-wheel. So he got fourth in 4-wheel, third in 2-wheel, and 1 stadium truck. That's a hell of a nationals.
Strong showing. Episode 208, by the way. 208.
That was Cole Tollard.
Cole Tollard. So you can go back and listen to that one. April 9th, 2020. Allman says, "Oh, I remember my question. I wanted to know more about the worst weather at a race. I think Jason mentioned 97 Worlds in England."
Well, yeah. I don't think there was not a 97 Worlds in England. The 97 Worlds was in California. That was perfect weather at the ranch. I did a 96 Reedy race. That's probably the one he's talking about. I did a 1996 Reedy race, invitational in England. Mike Reedy took me and Mark Francis, not Matt Francis, but Mark Francis, his brother, which was actually a really cool guy. One of the funniest guys too. But anyway, I remember him driving Reedy didn't want to drive, so Mark Francis was driving the van, which my guess is Mark probably wasn't old enough to drive internationally. I mean, not that I was, but he just told Mark to drive because he was like, I think you'd be the better driver, regardless, would be better than me, even though you're not supposed to be driving.
Yeah, right.
So I remember him turning into oncoming traffic once, and while we were but anyway, it worked out. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was a good
worked out.
Well, that race, we were racing heads up Reedy race style races in the rain. I remember our cars sitting on the grid, and they didn't do the IFMAR style grid. They had more like a kind of the old 232 style grid. And I remember our cars sitting, it was kind of like an elevated starting area that came down. It was all grass. The whole track was grass. And I remember them sitting there, and the rain is just pouring down, and you can hear the rain hitting the bodies of the cars. And we were back in the pits, and they were telling us to put condoms over the electrical, and I'm like,
Jason's like, I got to play those in my toolbox.
I didn't have any, my RC racer in 1996. I didn't have any condoms.
Come on.
So, people are taking them out. They're like put it on your receiver, put it over your speed control. I'm like, am I supposed to be touching this? So we're putting all that stuff on the cars. And man, we raced in the rain. But that probably wasn't the worst one. Even though we were racing in the rain, it was okay. There was some storms we had at the worlds at North Carolina, the 8 scale worlds in '08. That was nuts. That just ruining the track in terms of how wet it was, and that when you had that red North Carolina clay and it's muddy,
Mm.
there is just no getting away from it. It is everywhere. And uh that was pretty tough. That was a tough weather event. It dried up eventually, of course, and we ran good qualifiers, good mains, but there was some days that were ugly. That clash that Alex was talking about in 11,
Mm.
where Jorn Newman and Gerd were there, and the pits were so full of water that I remember looking over to where we had Jorn pitting, and they were up to their under their knee. They were like under their knees, and that's how much water was in the pits.
Jesus.
They were walking around with like, no shoes, no socks, like because the water, and I was just thinking, this is
Electrical
a
everywhere.
disaster. I was like, this is a disaster. And I'm looking at the track. Paul and I are like, what are we gonna do with this? And we had Mike Applegate and all the guys from Coral Springs that were so good at. They're like, let's go to Home Depot. It's right around the corner. We'll get the wood chips. So we went and got like the wood chip mulch stuff that they have at Home Depot.
Yeah.
It's great for sucking up the water. And we went and put that all over the track. That worked. We drained the Coral Springs guys, Mike Applegate. There's Alex.
Alex says, I was pitted across for Newman. I kept my feet up in the pit for several hours, chilling with an iPad.
The water was so deep over there.
Where's the photos, man?
There's a good photo of Kinwald who was there too. And Kinwald had bags. He put bags over his shoes, up his legs, and then put like rubber bands on it to hold the bags. So there's a good photo somewhere. I think we have one, and maybe the X Factory guy had one, and somebody else. But
That's
we have a
awesome.
good photo of Kinwald like that, and that was tough. We actually raced the mains that year. So we drained all the water from the track to the islands, in the islands in the track, in between the pipes.
Yeah.
There was areas where the water in between the pipes, it couldn't go anymore. It could not take any more water or would go over the pipes. And the track boat, we put that mulch or the wood chips, the wood shavings on the track. It worked perfect, and we ran the mains there. That was a bad one. They call that one the splash, not the clash.
That's great.
So that one, the race in England, that Worlds in North Carolina. I'm trying to think of another one that rained really bad. A lot of races in Florida had a lot of rain, but there was the 97 Winter Champs. That could be the one that Hallman's talking about, where they brought everybody in because the park was flooded, where Lake Park is.
I think I remember seeing this on
There's two
track.
lakes. There's two lakes in there that when they get high enough, it connects with water. It goes over the road. So what they did was, because everybody had already came into town and the race had to happen, the park rangers got a tractor and a big trailer. So you would pull your vehicle into the park in the morning, you would load your race gear onto the flatbed trailer with you, and the park people would bring you into where the track was, because the track wasn't underwater.
Right.
It was just the roads. That was a bad one.
Alex says all my cars were rusted when I got home from the calcium chloride. That was an expensive trip.
Yeah, if you don't start attending to your cars in that weather right away, they turn into rust buckets. So, but I mean, you can stop it if you're wrenching right away and cleaning it off. But yeah, and you put that calcium chloride on the track, you get it on your car, and then the weather's like that. It's like instant.
Wow.
rust.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a big weather year at Winter Champs. There was one that just rained the entire Winter Champs. I remember we were running qualifier. This was the end of the beginning of the end at the Winter Champs when we were actually running qualifiers, and I think I actually went home because it was raining so bad, and we're trying to run qualifiers while it was raining, and it was they were running
Nightmare.
qualifiers, and it was raining, and that was miserable.
Hmm.
Trying to think if there was any other big.
I don't think I ever done
We
one.
did the Worlds in Japan, the one in 2007 when it rained up there in those mountains. That was pretty serious, and the track had like white, grayish dirt, and when that white dirt was wet and muddy, it was next to impossible to. I mean, you could get it off, but it was like the stickiest mud.
Ugh.
Uh, there's some good photos from that one.
Yeah, I would love to see these photos, especially the one with the water in the pits. 2011 J Concept Spring Gnats rained every night, all 3 days.
Is this the one? Yeah, I think was that the. I
Oh,
remember that one being tough, but
that was the last race outdoors.
we had good mains there. I remember it had rained and it was a little wet. I ran 3Ds on my 8 scale buggy, and I think I got second there to Kendall Welch, who I always kicked my butt there, but I was running nitro buggy. I think I got second, and my car was great in the main. John Faulkner was pitting me.
We're talking about all this rain, and I was telling you, Jason, because it's pouring rain here, and we're supposed to get like 6 or 7 inches of rain. So the basements get wet in some of these houses. But anyway, this was like 1998 Trinity House. Me, Kirby, Rob Cutman, Mike Wood,
Okay.
Ryan Han. Anyway, it was pouring rain. I guess there was probably like a same situation here, a tropical storm coming up through. And I wanted to go down in the basement for something and wasn't even thinking like, oh, there's gonna be water in the basement. I open up the door, and this is no joke, guys. You know, steps going down to the cellar. Halfway up the steps, there was water. And Kirby could back me up on this story. There are Trinity stuff, like our Trinity bags and everything. There was stuff just floating in the water. And I called Kirby over. I'm like, look at this shit down there. And he looks down there, and it's like, no joke, halfway up the steps, that cellar was halfway filled with water. And we just closed the door, latched it, and never looked down there for like another 10 months.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Never said a word. And we went back down there. And when guys started moving out, they wanted to go back down there and grab their stuff. And it was just like all, you know, dirt and everything. Funny story. You had to be there. Because when I tell people that story, they're like, yeah. I'm like, no, dude. It looked like a freaking lake. Like there was waves going like this. And the Trinity bag seriously was going like this when I was down. Like, whoops. Close that door.
I'm trying to find you.
I mean,
Finding some of these photos right now.
I thought you would. Well, I didn't even think at the time. I didn't give a shit. I was just like, yeah, close the door and forget about it. But I think you need to pump that water out of there.
2013 Worlds. He's that one's probably from Chico. That the day of the mains. I think it was raining the day of the mains, and remember them.
2013 Worlds is more recent from a televised perspective.
Yeah, that was one of them.
All right.
I got a few photos here I'll put in the chat. But
okay.
This is from 2007 one in Japan I was talking about. This
Oh,
was
the
actually, and this was my last. This was my last hurrah too. The 2007 was my last hurrah on a world's level.
was it?
Yeah.
07.
It was the first round of qualifying.
There it is. That's the white dirt you're talking about, right?
Yep. I figured you could put it up in your screen if you want.
Yeah, that one came out pretty good. Some of them.
Oh yeah, that looks good. That's the
Yeah.
track.
Yep. This is in the hills of Japan.
Yeah, it was like at a ski resort.
Hmm.
Is and had a really cool feel to it being up there, but it was a 45-minute drive each way in the morning. So we'd drive 45 minutes from the hotel to get to the track and then 45 minutes home at night.
Good God.
It was a big commitment. That's not really going to read very well, but
Yeah, that doesn't.
anyway, yeah, that was some good photos there. But that was the track. I think they were putting down powder there. That's all the white
Oh, is that what
powder.
that was?
Yeah, I think that's what their technique was for trying to help dry things up.
All right. Well, thanks for that question, Alman.
You got to put in that next photo.
Oh, which one is that? The car?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can get that in there. Sometimes they don't look too good. Oh yeah, we get that. Boom! Look at that one.
That was Lee
Look
Martin.
at that, Lee Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude! I think this should be my background all the time.
That's a 10-skill buggy.
Good God! The guys today would pass out. They had to run something like that. Holy shit, dude!
And then if that, you could try to put that one photo in there that has my car.
So he had condoms wrapped around his.
Well, I don't know what we were doing there, but that might be right. But it was when I went to England is when I remember the condom thing.
Oh, this is your car?
Yeah, the next one.
I won't be able to get all that in there, but yeah, I don't need to. I'll just get.
But this was from running a qualifier. This is how wet it was during a qualifier.
Wow. Let's see if I can pull this up.
And I'm running the Rulux wheels in this. So yeah, you can see how. So this was the first round of qualifying at the Worlds.
I'll get out of the way.
That was how muddy it was.
God damn, man. This is nuts. Look at that. Memories. Memories. Oh, that's it for the photos. And what's this here? Position. Mike Truey.
Well, I was just saying that. Yeah, this was the first round of qualifying. Mike Truey.
This is when 2007. A young Ryan Mayfield.
Yep, this is a 2007 Worlds first round of qualifying. Mike Truey TQ'd the first round. Travis Amescua second. Mayfield third. Hayato Matsuzaki fourth.
Oh, wow.
Hiroshi Suzuki fifth. Lee Martin sixth. Ryan Cavallari seventh. I don't know how to say this one. Masatashigu.
I know.
He was eighth, and then I was ninth, and Paul Bradby was 10th. And that was and I was thinking, all right, I got a ninth for the round. I was driving around. My car looked like that in the picture, all muddy. And I was thinking, all right, track dries up. I should be able to get a couple more good top 10 runs in here. And before you know it, I only still had that 9th place finish as my best. And I was like, well, I was thinking, I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to get myself into a 4th A Worlds final. But no, didn't happen.
What are you going to do? All right. Well, that was pretty good. This picture here, though, just amazes me, man.
Yeah. The Lee Martin one. Yeah. I mean,
that is nuts.
And then you turn around and you actually race this car in competition. Like, that wasn't a trasher car. That was like his race car, and he had to clean it up and get it back going. And of course, with a 10 scale buggy is really fast. I mean, you can. But
is this race on YouTube at all?
I have my own YouTube video of that race, but you don't see a lot of. It's like a highlight thing, and it was before we were really that good with our videos. But you don't see much. I mean, you can see the track and all that stuff, but it's.
The question is, would you guys that are watching and listening, would you race in mud like this?
A lot of people probably say that they would.
It'd be fun.
2-wheel qualifying. It looks like I have multiple videos here with this.
What's up, Kyle? Kyle Chasen?
Why are the photos not very good?
Kyle asked about the football pod. Kyle's willing to help out on a football podcast, Jason.
Why is this thing so low quality?
Well, hell, when was it? I mean,
God, it had to.
It was low quality when you filmed it. Then when you uploaded it,
man, this is bad.
I would love to see it though.
I don't remember it being this bad.
Late 90s, early 2000s is a lost era for video, Alex says.
Yeah, it is. Why is it so bad? I bet you we still have this footage somewhere.
Probably can't even watch it. Really bad.
I mean, I did good video here. I mean, I didn't have like a piece of junk video camera. I think it's just the way it got exported.
Yeah.
And then, but this is the real deal here. This was a fun and serious event and very cool place.
Is this on your own like private YouTube channel?
No, this is on this is on the J Concepts Racing's YouTube channel. But man, I don't know why the quality is so bad.
Wait, send me a link. I just want to check it out. Okay. Send it in the chat. I could share it on the screen, but if the quality is bad, I guess I'm on. So
yeah, I mean, you can try to put it up there. It's just, and I don't remember it being this bad. Something really took it on the chin here.
We were talking about that earlier, Kyle, about 110 scale. Kyle's asking, can 10 scale make a comeback for outdoors? I mean, I think we were just talking about 10 scale in general, but
it could, but it definitely needs some help. I forget what somebody was saying, that the resurgence of 10 scale outdoors.
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user. For the last 6 years, I've been live streaming.
That's not coming through your audio, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, what somebody mentioned was if they're gonna have if there's gonna be so many warehouses being used and storage spaces being used for marijuana
Mhm.
being legalized and all that, that it could really reduce the amount of indoor RC tracks to the point where people have to start having outdoor tracks again. Somebody mentioned that just over the weekend.
How can I get this? Add to stream.
There it is. And it probably looks better being small like this than the way I
Yeah,
had it.
it actually does. Because I'm looking at the larger version and looks a little bit better small right there.
Yeah, so this is I was shooting this from the corner of the track, and this is the two-wheel drive buggy mains here. And you can see this track was built on a hill, and you can see behind the track
Mhm.
is where the elevation really ramps up to where you can see there was like ski lifts. So this is Ryan actually right here, right behind Hayato. And I think Ryan gets by him here somehow. Oh, look at this. There's Ryan in the lead. This is the main that Brent believes, and many people believe this should have been Mayfield's first world title right here. He wins this A1 pretty easily, convincingly, and then just doesn't have good A2s and A3s and doesn't end up winning it. I mean, he still got second or third. I think he got
Yeah.
third, but yeah, I mean, he ran so great in this first main. I mean, he even turns around here. He's got such a big lead. Yeah, we kind of thought this was going to be his first win, but it wasn't. I mean, he's got 2 world titles. He could easily have 6. I wouldn't say easily have 6, but
There we
could
go.
have 6. So here's the second main.
Okay. Where's Mayfield at first?
No, he wasn't TQ. I think he was third. So
There
he
he
just
is. Now in
passed somebody
second.
into second. So he's into second. We got our little glitching of the video going on here.
Oh, on StreamYard?
It just was real quick.
So I think he's second. Yeah. Mayfield coming up on him.
No, he's in third here. But yeah, this is the second main.
Wow, look at that section there. I would have died through there, dude.
Yeah, it was very. It really wasn't a good section.
What they call that section?
Way too many moguls and
Moguls. Okay.
mole hills. I think
Mole hills. Wow, I would have never been able to get through those.
So that's Hayato in the lead.
This is crazy.
I don't know who's in second here. Oh, that's Ryan. Is that Ryan? Oh no, I don't know.
Look at that. Wave that checker flag. Okay, winner Hayato.
Yeah, so he won the third main too. That's how he won the overall. Jared got second.
G Concepts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a cool video.
Yeah, that's. Let me see if I can.
I guess for people listening on the podcast, I'll have to pull up the video, right?
Yeah, if you're listening on a podcast, go to Facebook or YouTube. I think I have somebody here on this in the studio, Jason, real quick.
Okay.
Let's see if we can add. He's going by the name of Green Painter. Green Painter, are you there? Green Painter. And going once. Going twice. I hear some background noise. And Green Painter's gone. All right, that was a nice try. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate that. Green Painter was going for the audio version only. I did hear a fan in the background. Mark Baldwin. Yes, 10 scale outdoor is the best. Pins and ribs, pit stop hobbies, all the way.
Yeah, and that's we've been talking about that with Jason, who races there at Pit Shop. I've seen that track and it makes me want to go race. It looks like such a good condition.
Pit stop hobbies, Mount Joy, PA. I used to go back there in the 90s, Jason.
Whew. 1995 or 6?
94, 95, 96, 97. Last time I was there was 1997. Okay, we're gonna have to wrap this up soon, but Jason, are you going to? I think you might have answered this, Jason. Are you going to the Masters of Dirt? Real quick.
I'm not going to the Masters of Dirt, but Paul will be there. I'll be at our race in Minnesota, our carpet race in Minnesota, but Paul will be at the Masters, along with many other JC guys.
Now, Jason Allman's saying that he was rocking the 1 megapixel camera with a 4 megabyte card around 2007. Good times. So,
I mean, I know I had a camcorder that I was doing that on, and I think if we had the raw footage, which we may have some of it, it might actually be a lot better than that. I did a lot of footage. I mean, I did a lot more than what we actually have online. I mean, I was filming everything that weekend. We were going into karaoke bars across from the hotel, and I have like video of us being at the karaoke bars and the racers singing songs, and I got all that stuff. But
that'd be cool. That's nice. That's cool to have that.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I recorded it. I don't know if I still have it, but that would have been nice to have.
Yeah. Jason Santos saying I could have raced at Pit Stop Hobbies in 2021. Could have. Yeah, my apologies. Could not make that. I beat myself up over that. I could have made August though, Jason, but Jason couldn't make August, if I remember correctly. Allman's laughing at something, so there you go. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us in the chat. It's always a good time to get on here and interact with you guys. Again, if you're listening to the audio version, you can watch the video version, Facebook, YouTube. Go there and tell a friend. Tell a friend to go to Facebook and YouTube.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Tell a friend. Man, I can't believe my internet held up, man. I could hear the wind out there. Pouring rain.
Well, good, because I'm going to have to go and get dinner.
Yeah. So we're heading out.
I know you had your raviolis, but I didn't get
ravioli. Yeah, there was no way. I thought you were going to be ready by 5. Here we go. Jason says they changed the August race to September 11th, but guess what? Jason cannot make it still. So I'm out. He
could be at our turf race in Madness. He could come out there and do that. That's the same weekend.
Jason?
Either you or Jason.
Man, it's quite a distance. If I didn't go to LCRC, which is an hour away. Is that Turf Nats on Live RC then? Or how's that?
Yeah, it'll be on Live. Matt Olson will be doing his videos from
on Facebook.
Yep. So you'll be able to watch that.
All
It'd be better if you came down, but
I mean, I could, I guess.
How far away did we determine it was?
Connecticut.
Yeah. I like how Connecticut.
It's pretty damn far, dude. I mean, I'm in Pennsylvania, bro.
Well, I don't know.
It's 5 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad. It takes us 5 hours to go to South Florida.
Rob wants me to show pictures. Show pictures of what? I don't know what he means. I wish I had. I know I don't think I took a lot of videos when I raced, but There's some pictures somewhere. This is stuff I don't know. It upsets me that I don't have more pictures. Like today, it's so easy to have pictures and take pictures and video. Allman saying this is 2021. Dang it. Let's get a car ran over the interwebs. Make sure the camera guy is on point. Good point. Yeah, that's on point. Good point. Jason's saying he has a car show on the 11th, grandson's birthday party on the 12th, a packed weekend.
It's
Yeah,
packed.
But you could ditch the car show and go to the Pit Stop Hobbies race, and then I could disappoint you for a second time by not showing up.
Here's how my photos turned out. You can put this one up. This is my digital photo from 1999. And I had one of those cameras where you put a disc in. You know, it was the old 3.5 floppy. You would put in. There's not many photos of this track at all on the internet.
Did you
But
send? Oh, okay.
I put it in the chat, and so these are from that my digital camera. And you know, with a 3.5 floppy, you could only put maybe 10 of these photos on each floppy. Like for how much? Because you could only put 3 megabytes or something like that on a small floppy. So that's my photo from '99 of the Worlds in Finland, and that was the quality we got. So yeah, when you make it large, that's my quality.
Yeah.
Killer. He can't read anything.
Well, hey, we're not about quality on this podcast, obviously. So, I love it though. Oh snap! Those cameras were pricey. Company I worked for at the time had one for pictures of equipment in the field. Okay.
If this race was on the internet today, the Worlds in Finland, people would be, where are the jumps? There was actually jumps on this track, but not many.
Oof.
This track was big. It was awesome. It was nice to drive on.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks better like that there.
Yeah.
You got my face in it. That two things there going against you.
Yeah, 2 strikes.
Whew. Okay. Well, Jason said he's thought about skipping the car show.
Skip it?
Oh, maybe it'll rain. Oh, wait a minute. Then if it rains, then
And you don't get to race.
Well, then we can go back to, we go back to the day, Jason, where we look like this. If it rains at pit stop, we could race the vintage cars in the rain. Put condoms over our over our electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Trojan XLs.
Yeah.
All right, come to the Vonats. Oh, when is the Vonats? It's got to be the same time. Usually around my birthday. My birthday is September 5th, by the way, people. If anybody wants to, Vimo me some money. All right. Yeah, we could advertise it to bring condoms
To your birthday party.
to the race. The Vintage Nats is September 24th through 26th, Jason.
Okay.
Is Eric Reichert still running that? Is that his deal? Jason Santos? Is that his deal? I gotta distinguish the Jasons here. I keep forgetting.
We got 3 in, or no?
I think we got 3 of them in here. All right, well, that was episode 229. And Eric Reichert is still running the Vonats. So if you would mark down on your calendar, head up there. I know one guy that's going up to the Vonats. Kyle Batman. All right, 229 in the books. I love this picture behind me, dude. I just love it. It's great. Can you imagine? How much
tough?
fun? It's awesome. Yeah, this is what Jason's thinking, Almond. Yeah, Almond, shut up with the tangent questions already. Jeez, people got to get to bed on the East Coast with Ken. Thanks for your time, everyone.
I actually like it. It gives us something to kind of deep dive into. We get these pictures. We get all kinds of cool
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that was a great question. Love, I just love doing this whole thing. Interactive, it's fun. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody sticking with us, and we'll see you for 2:30.
2:30.
Oh, don't forget 230 Columbo. 230 Columbo. 230. That's what we're gonna do for the next episode. You have to watch one episode of Columbo and let me know what you think for 230.
Oh,
230.
and one more thing.
What? Oh, one more thing.
Did you say that was a Columbo thing?
Oh, that's right. You got me on my own thing. Damn it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Oh, just one more thing. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna be like, "Why didn't I watch Columbo before this? Why?"
What was the other one?
Columbo?
You had your other saying 2 + 1 or something like that.
2 + 1 = fun.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with Columbo.
Oh, I thought that was Columbo too.
No, that's not Columbo. That's me. 2 + 1 = fun. You guys in the chat figure that out.
Are we out of here?
We're out of here, guys. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to tell a friend. And good luck racing. See you for the next one.